questions later on, you can always call one of us, or we have a supplemental services YouTube channel now that this will be posted up to. So you can watch on your phone when you're like relaxing at home too. Next on the agenda is Donna with some updates for us. Go for it, Donna.
Okay. Did everyone receive the email that had the LTAL forms in it? I'm going to assume you all did. Just a couple of quick notes about it. So the data that you're using to fill in for your goals would be the spring data from the prior grade level. If you don't have it, because we didn't give assessments in the spring, then go ahead and use the assessments that you have from the prior, whatever is prior to that. And same thing for your comparison data or your ELD assessments, you're just going to use the last good data that you have. I think that's all with that. I have NCR forms for the LTEL forms, and I have them in English, Hmong, and Spanish in my office. If you need them, just email me, or I also email them to you. And then there's a couple of demographic sheets that are still outstanding. Don't send them to me, please, until you have tested all of your TBDs. So you're not doing anything that's redundant. You're only doing it one time. So if you have any questions or you need me to look up kids to make sure that you can check out your tests, then let me know. And that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Donna. You'll be getting, after we're done here, Trina's going to email out some forms. One of them is going to be your monitoring report. So that'll be coming along with some instructions. That'll be due December 18th, but you got some time coming along there. Something we want to show off real quick. There is a new reclassified fluent English proficient students. We're supposed to monitor them and track them. We have a new RFEP form, monitoring form that I want to show off. And on the agenda, if you go to Report Central, there's the path to get to it. But we also just included the link to make it easy. You can jump right to it. But let me share my screen. I can show you some cool things with this. All right, does everybody see my screen? No? Try that again. How about now? Okay, good deal. When you follow that link, you get to Report Central, and here is the EL reclassification report. It's kind of just a blank looking screen, but if you select your school, and you click that, and then it'll show you your grades, and you click View Report, which I'm not going to do for confidentiality reasons, but I do have what the report looks like here. If you've been doing this for a while, hopefully this looks very familiar. This is the form you would have historically filled out by hand for each of your reclassified students. It is completely filled out for you. So it has their name, their grade, the date they were reclassified, and their historic grades and when we had scores. And you can just scroll right through each of your students and you can see how they're doing, like this guy here. It looks like it's doing all right. So you can print this out and give this to your teachers to stay on top of your reclassified students to make sure that they are not slipping back. So just a great little resource. Again, this is something you used to do by hand, but Say and Corey in technology and a lot of hard work on my part, I got this set up and ready to go. So this is a great resource. Hopefully it'll be good for you guys because we're pretty excited about it actually.
Gary, one thing about that, this is not for SPED.
Yeah, a good point.
So Gary, can I interject?
Please.
So this is, as you guys all know, we had the green card that was your 4-year progress monitoring form. So from now on, all you're going to do is click on those buttons that Gary just showed us, and it's going to automatically calculate for you, or import all the grades for you. So you no longer have to do that green 4-year card to your left of your students folder that are students who have been reclassified. So you will be printing at semester, at the end of each semester, print up this report and insert. So very much like our CELT or no, I'm sorry, CELT, or SBAC data, you'll just print the report and stack them on top of each other. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If not, I know that, you know, either Donna, Gary, or myself, you guys email us and we'll be able to clarify that with you.
Yeah. And when it comes time to actually have to do this and put this in the folder, we'll reach back out again and remind you, give you directions. We just want to show it off because we're excited about it. Hopefully make life a lot easier for everybody and a lot better for our students. Okay, couple just real quick items. The duty letters. Make sure GIS is make sure you're going over and viewing those with any of your categorically funded employees. I know Tam has been sending out emails, so make sure you make an appointment with your guys and go over that with them, have them sign it. Multi-funded logs are due November 10th. After on the DLAC meeting, that was changed to October 27th from 3 to 4:30. That way, if a parent does not have their own device, they can use their student device that the district checked out to them to log in. So that's why the time changed there. And just a reminder for ELAC and SSC ballot nominations, we need to make sure we have a paper trail for nominations and elections. So when you're forming, if you have not yet formed your SSCs and your ELACs, make sure you're using paper ballots and keeping a hold of those. So if we ever do get audited, we have a paper trail that shows that we followed the process. And just a quick reminder about the Title VI, the Indian Ed aides. They have time logs that are due every week, and they do need to be signed by admin. And most of them have multiple sites, so they're staying at just one site. So that just that one person needs to sign their logs, but that is also there. And that's it, except for the main part of the meeting now is going over SPSAs. And if you don't have anything to do with SPSAs, you're welcome, you're done. If you're new to the SPSA world this year and you didn't have to do it last year, you're welcome because it's gonna be so much better this year. Last year was really tough starting from scratch. But DTS, the company we work with for the template, does an amazing job pulling everything over and giving us a nice starting point. And on the agenda, you can see right there where it says, I just got under Dane Sandoval, he's the DTS rep, he's gonna be talking in just a second since I'm done here. There's a list of some of the sections. Those are the only sections you need to fill out. All of the other sections in the document will be pre-populated either by what DTS can get off state website or we will input for you at the district office level here. So the only things you need to worry about are those on that small list right there, which is great. So Dane, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, take it over. Thank you, Dane.
All right, perfect. So I'm actually going to share my screen just to give you a visual idea of how to make updates in DTS. Are you guys currently able to see my browser and the document tracking services website right now? All right, perfect. So in order to access our web-based software, you'll need to access the website doc-tracking.com, www.doc-tracking.com. And once you type in the URL and hit enter, it'll bring you to a site that looks like this. And I believe everybody has gotten an email with their user credentials. If not, you can easily just let us know and we can send that to you directly, or the administrative side can actually send that to you as well. But to log in, on the upper right-hand side, you'll see the client login button. You want to select that link. It'll ask for your username and password. And once you place that information into that area, it'll bring you to your specific site that you have access to. So before you make any updates, just make sure you check on the upper right-hand side that you're access to the correct school site. If not, let us know. We can easily make an adjustment. Also, the administrative staff level account can make that change as well. Now, I'm just going to use Alta Sierra Intermediate School as an example. I'm not going to be making any updates. It's just more, again, for visual purposes, so everyone's able to understand and see how easy it is to make updates in DTS. But before I proceed with that, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what you see on the home page here. So first and foremost, on the upper left-hand side, you're going to see active and archived. You can access your archived documents from the previous year by selecting that archived link, selecting the view underneath the document history, and you'll have that PDF that'll actually create a PDF of back to it. You can then hit back on your web browser, or you could simply hit home and that will take you back to your home. Next, when you're on the active portion, you'll see that the 2020 plans are currently active, and that's for the safety plan, the SARC, and the SPSA. And I'm just going to focus on the SPSA today since that's the focal point. Now, on the very left-hand column, you have the name of the document itself. Next to that, you have the document last updated column, which right now it says never because no information has been entered yet into our system for this specific template. And as soon as you begin making your updates, you're going to see the date reflect those changes made. So for instance, if I were to go in and make a change right now to the SPSA, you'll see today's date listed in this area here. Next to that, you have the view document. At any point in time, you can actually render a complete PDF of your plan. And what it'll do is actually grab all the information you've input into DTS, populate it to a nice PDF for you guys that you can either use as a reviewing tool, or you can actually submit to either the LEA or another individual to review from there. Anytime you create a PDF, it saves a history of that specific PDF created in document history. And that document is saved for up to 90 days. So if I make a PDF today, that'll be available until early January. And that date rolls over. So if I were to make one next month, that one I made in November would be available till February, and so on and so forth. Next to that is the attachments column. If you actually select view, you can add an attachment to the SPSA. So if you need to add any additional items to your plan, this is a pretty quick and easy way to do so. And all you need to do is select that add button. You can actually change a friendly file name. So if the file name is, a bunch of letters in Word or just a bunch of different letters and numbers, you can use the friendly file name to specify exactly what it is. Or you can obviously change the file name too. And when you upload the file, it's just simply choose the file. It'll bring up your folder browser, and then you can find the appropriate file, select it, and then you'll want to select the upload file button to upload it to the end of your SPSA. And what'll happen is the next time you produce a PDF, it'll actually show up at the very end of the PDF produced in DTS. Now, to actually access the template to begin making updates, on the very right-hand side, you have that edit by sections, and the number actually correlates to the number of sections of the specific template referenced. So for instance, the 2020 SPSA has 42 total sections. But as Gary mentioned earlier, the sections that you're actually responsible for were listed in that spreadsheet he provided. So I'm just gonna kind of show you a few of those sections because the updating process is going to be very similar across all of those areas. So before I actually jump into a section though, let me just give you a quick overview of the section list table here in front of us. You're gonna see check boxes alongside each section. So if you don't have a specific number of goals, for instance, so say you only have 3 goals, if you uncheck those sections, the next time you PDF the document, it'll actually remove those sections altogether, and the table of contents will repopulate with only the selected sections. Also, the entire document will repaginate as well for those removed sections. You're also going to see a sections last updated. So just like the document last updated column on the home screen, this will actually show you the individual dates of when each section is changed. Now keep in mind, though you see never on these student performance data, that's only because the updates didn't occur in this specific template, but know that your data is present right now for review. We're monitoring and tracking for any new updates that are coming out, and we'll be sure to keep any of the administrative level staff aware of any new changes or new imports that are available in DTS to actually implement into your specific school's accounts. Now to actually jump in and make updates, again, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is select the area you'd like to update. And then what you're going to see are editable text fields with the content from last year. What we did was we carried the content that you input from last year into the current year's plan, and you're going in and just making revisions to that information that you input. There are different types of fields present, so you'll want to be aware of those areas. So for instance, this is just a text field. It won't actually expand to fit bigger narrative, but you can put, say, your school name or your county code or your CDS code as is requested on the title page here. But as I go to the about this school portion, as you can see, this is a text area field. You can input as much narrative as you see fit. You're not limited to your a number of words or characters. So feel free to write as much content or that you would need to justify or within this portion of the field. Others are check fields, so you'll be able to check box areas, and what it'll do is if you don't actually select one of these check boxes, it'll actually remove it completely from the template and it'll only show what you select as well. And last but not least, we have drop-down fields, which you'll find within the plan improvement goal portion. And again, as I mentioned, we did carry over content here, so if you're seeing information, that is content from last year, so you'll want to make sure to review and update for the current year. But as you can see in the proposed expenditures portion of the goals area, you'll have drop-down options of the funding sources available for your sites and budget code references. Now, once you're making updates, what you'll see is a bar that'll actually follow you around as you're making updates. So you want to make sure that if you see this message, you have modified data that has not been saved, that you press the Save Data button. You'll get a thumbs up saying all data is saved, and that's your cue that any content that you have entered at that point is now instilled in DTS. So the next time you produce a PDF, you'll see that new information in the PDF document downloaded. You can also, within DTS on any section, view the current document, and it'll actually create a PDF of your entire plan while you're still working within a section. You can also open up an HTML format of your section as well if you just want a quick overview to either copy and paste from in another area. Now at the top of the section list, or excuse me, on top of each section, you have the ability to just move from section to section for easy updating. Or if you just want to jump around to different sections, on the upper right-hand side, you're going to see that edit by section and then that 42. And that'll bring you back to the section list. You can actually access that area from any section. As you can see, it'll just jump you right back. And that's really how you make updates in DTS. Again, it's pretty straightforward on how you make changes. What I can do now is if anyone has any questions, I can open the floor, or I can easily just put my own credential information, like my email address and my phone number, and you guys can reach out to me at any time if something were to come up while you're making changes in DTS.
All right, any questions for Dane?
Gary, I did hear you say that there were some sections we weren't going to have to do, or there was a chart with sections that we do need to update. Can you tell me where that was?
Yeah, we'll email it out to you. We have an actual like little cheat sheet to help you out along the way, and it lists everything you don't need to worry about and everything you do get to do. But also on your agenda, there's a list right below Dane's name there. Those are the things that you have to do. Everything else besides those,
we can uncheck them.
you can don't uncheck them. They still need to be part of your plan, but you do not have to update them. We'll take care of them.
Okay.
So hopefully make it a little easier.
Gary, I have a question on the budget information. Are we putting in, I mean, it says just a budget summary. So we're just putting in our totals and then are we dropping in our page 6 like we have in the past?
Yes. Well, page 6, yes, to get approved by your SSC. Yes. But it really is, especially after last year of starting from scratch and having to write the entire thing, this year should be much, much simpler. You don't have to update near as much. And what you have to update, you have a good starting point because it's already been transferred over from last year. And in just a minute, Trina's going to email out a couple documents. One's kind of a help list of what you need to do and some directions. The DTS kind of cheat sheet, and Dane's phone number and contact information. And he really is like, it's amazing how fast DTS gets back if you email, how quickly they respond to your questions.
Gary, Melissa's asking if the, it says for data, are we just defaulted to 18-19 data, or will that all be updated?
That's
You just
whatever
covered
the
it.
state
You said it's all there.
yeah, whatever the state decides we can use, it'll be input already.
That'll be
It'll be done for you. Yeah, so without last year's testing, it's not going to be last year's data most likely. But when Trina sends out that information, we have scheduled on November 5th, 12th, and on December 8th, some workshops via Zoom. If you start working on your SPSA and you have some questions, you don't have to wait till then. You can always call or email. We can help you then.
Hey,
But
Gary.
if you want to get together as a team, you can get together at those times also. Yes.
Have we got the quarter 3 and 4 annual progress monitoring sheet that goes into that? I know we usually do it in second quarter, but basically we're just cutting and pasting from first and second quarter. It'll be easy to do. But it
That's
has-
coming in your email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trina.
You're welcome.
You guys are pros. I love this. But like I said, we wanted to block out time in your calendar today. So if you want to actually sit and work on it, you can today. You don't tell anybody you're done already. Again, we've got those 3 meetings done or scheduled that you can come in and work as an area team or individually, or you don't have to wait till then. Email, call with questions. But our goal is to make this as easy as possible. So the information you're getting by email from Trina should be pretty self-explanatory, and really updating this year so much better than last year.
Well, it includes board approval date and all of those things that we have. Okay.
It's all on the email.
Yeah. But December 18th is when we need it back because I get to read them all over winter break and double check. But yeah, it'll all be on the email. We want to spell it out as clean as we can for you because you guys are busy enough.
And I'll send that as soon as we finish up here. You'll get it in about 15 minutes.
Yep. Are there any other questions before I let you get started? And you're welcome to stay on Zoom if you want to work on Zoom, or you're welcome to get off Zoom and work on your
I
own.
just wanted to know if we can have a revisit on how to get to that monitoring that RFEP monitoring report again. Sorry, it was.
No, totally fine.
I looked myself, but I don't see that I have access to the folder. So I just want to make sure I'm in the right place.
Okay. And if you don't have access to the folder, let me know and I'll work with Corey to get you access. But let me share my screen one more time. And get rid of that thing. And so you can go to Report Central. Oh, see Report Central / report. I always do that. And I hate it when that happens. Or you can just go to the agenda and follow the link. Let me get my little thing out of the way there. Then from here, so you'll select your school, and then it will populate all the information for you. You say View Report, and that's all it is. But on the agenda that I just closed down the window, if you go to Report Central / reports, and then it's in the curriculum instructional information folder, and then special projects, and EL reports, and EL class report, or you can follow the link on your agenda and it takes you right to it. That help, or that answer the question? And again, if anybody does not have access, if you try to get in, it says you don't have access, let me know, and I'll get you access. But it should be, if anybody with a GIS role should have access to that already, but if you don't.
Nick Boris needs access, Gary.
Okay. That was by design, but I'll still try to get him access. Sorry, Nick.
And Pearson needs access too.
Who does?
Hey, I know you did it on purpose,
Pearson.
Gary.
Shane, okay.
Yeah, maybe we should just email whoever, because I don't have access either. So
All right.
Okay.
Corey Donady. I'll let Corey know he's going to get a bunch of emails. It's
Okay.
K-O-R-I, Corey Donady in technology.
Gary, I don't know if this is too specific, but on mine, when I look at it, like that next option, curriculum instruction is even present. So does that mean I don't have access, or?
Yeah, then yeah, you wouldn't have access to this. Email to
Thanks.
Corey. On the agenda, does the link work for you though? Does that take you right to it by chance?
No.
Okay, yeah, get the email, Corey, sorry. Stop sharing my screen. Okay, Trina will be sending out the email shortly with more information and all extra information. But again, the SPSA this year we're hoping is a lot nicer than last year for you guys who got to do it last year. Should be for sure. Any other questions before we let you go? To get access is Corey. I'll put his name in the chat. How about that?
Yeah, so Dane put all his info in there too. So maybe we should send that to everyone.
Gary, could we just send Dane a copy of our CAT list? Maybe he can check to make sure they're all on there.
Dane?
No, Corey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we can do that. We'll just do that. So if you don't have access by the end of the week, let me know. But that's a good idea, Trina. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all
Pretty
you're
good.
doing.
Awesome. Thanks,
You guys
guys.
are amazing.
I'll send
Have a
that
great
email
afternoon.
right now.
Take care.